Yeah. I mean, I guess we could do it at night. That is the name of the pod. Let's get
Easier
trashed.
because we could literally just get trashed, and then we're gonna be going on tangents. It might go over an hour. That's the only thing that downside, because I feel like if we're both fucked up, we're just gonna be kind of like arguing because we're not gonna solve any purposes or answer any questions.
That might be the true magic of the pod, is because again, these conversations of us arguing about movies invariably happen late at night back in the day. Yeah. Anyways, when we,
at a coffee shop or at a bar.
Yeah, coffee shop or bar, at wherever.
At Mood Media.
Yeah, at whatever bullshit corporation we worked for. Ladies and gentlemen, you're tuning in to Let's Get Trashed After Dark. All right, this is an After Dark episode where we are truly, Steve's using marijuana, like it's legal where he lives.
Choose your words carefully.
It's legal where he lives in Amsterdam. I've had a few drinks because I snuck a flask of bourbon into fucking Regal movie theaters to watch. Again, Let's Get Trashed After Dark. We're bringing you the filthiest, the dirtiest, slappiest movies that we've got. Slappiest. And that means, of course, what could we possibly be discussing at fucking 1 a.m. other than the filthy Tom Holland vehicle Uncharted?
We're good. It's going to be one over there.
Like I said, I'm fresh from seeing this movie. I just got out of the theater moments ago and raced home to do a pod about it. So I haven't even had time to think about it. You're getting nothing but hot takes from Tazo tonight. That's all I got for you, dear fans and audience.
So since you've seen it most recently, do you want to talk about like what you enjoyed about this great film, or do you want me to start it off? Because this is a 10 out of 10, man. This is one of the greatest films. No, fuck yes. Oh yes, of course I'm kidding you. This movie was fucking bad. Everything, man, I don't know what's going on, but this was not a good movie. Like, this was a movie. I'm already gonna rate this fucking thing. It's like a 3 out of 10 for sure, easy. This movie is a movie. It fills the place of something, It's not Indiana Jones, and it isn't fucking The Mummy. It's not those movies.
Wow.
It tries to be that movie. Those movies, but it's not.
Steven, I am legitimately surprised at what you just said, because I thought I was gonna be walking into a fucking lion's den trying to fight my way through, but I didn't realize this is a friendlier atmosphere than I was expecting, at least to my. Okay, well, before we go too hard on like whether it was good or not,
why this movie sucked,
let's talk about what it was. Let's talk about Uncharted. Here's something I didn't know until I was sitting in the movie theater, and then a screen pops up saying PlayStation. The PlayStation logo comes up, and it's like, this is a PlayStation movie. And at that moment, I'm like, oh, this must be based on a video game.
Yeah.
Which I had no idea. I've never heard of the Uncharted series.
Yeah. It's a big one.
I believe you. Is it only on PlayStation?
It's only on PlayStation.
Oh, I'm an Xbox guy. That's why. Yeah.
I'm better than you.
Yeah.
That's what you're saying to people.
I'm looking for, yeah. You know what? I'm sure PlayStation fans probably enjoyed Uncharted. I'm gonna try and enjoy the Halo TV series in a couple months, whenever that comes out. Although that looks like shit. But either way, I was like sitting there. I was like, I had no idea what to expect, except for I knew Tom Holland was in it. That's all I knew. And
I knew him and Mark Wahlberg. That's it.
I didn't even know Wahlberg was in it until he popped in. So that was a pleasant surprise, because obviously I like Mark Wahlberg a lot. He's done a lot of amazing, great movies. He's done a lot of bad ones.
Yes,
but we'll talk about their acting styles. I was not looking forward to a Tom Holland film because I haven't seen a good one, and this was no exception.
Same. I feel bad because this kid is like he's promising.
He's not promising. He's a billion. He's not promising. Don't feel bad for him.
No, I don't feel. I feel bad because like they're trying to make him that guy, and it just ain't working out, man. Like all these movies he's in,
fine being that guy. He could be if he had any. I don't know if he could be, but he has the opportunity to test himself and do challenging, artful films. He's famous enough and he's rich enough. He doesn't need any more money. Yeah, he could do challenging art films like Timothée Chalamet if he wanted. You're right. Timothée Chalamet is getting all the high ground. He's getting all the prestige roles. He's even into blockbusters. He was in Dune. He's in Don't Look Up, not necessarily blockbusters, but Don't Look Up is a comedy. Dune is obviously a big mega sci-fi fantasy action picture. Chalamet is great in both of those. So he gets to do his commercial shit and silly shit, but he also is artistic. Did a Woody Allen movie, did the Army Hammer, Call Me by My Name. Call Me by Your Name. So he's Lady Bird.
Lady Bird's really good.
I haven't seen yet, but I will. He's Timothée Chalamet is doing all the artistic stuff that Tom Holland is not getting offered. Because why would you? After listening to this kid, all right, it's the go off zone. I guess I was gonna see if we could talk about the plot of the movie a little bit, maybe set our audience up, maybe whatever. Fuck our audience. We're in the go. Yeah, we're gonna. Steve, I need to make me some graphics.
Oh, I want you down like slime time.
Yeah. Should I can start putting it. You're gonna double my amount of iMovie work I'm doing every week. But just start putting up the go offs. Yeah. So Tom Holland cannot say words in a convincing manner.
Oh yeah.
I hated almost every line read he had in the entire Uncharted. And of course, even worse when he's fucking Spider-Man. But which I've stopped watching. But like in Uncharted, every single thing is so drippy with like snark and this kind of weird, not even sarcasm, but this very odd like not he can't take a single moment seriously. Not that this movie or Spider-Man's giving him a lot of like serious moments to care about, but everything is just so like casual or kind of it's just he has to be glib at all times.
What's glib mean?
It just means like it means like not taking it seriously and a little bit sardonic and kind of like it's the same way. It's I'm sorry. I know my listeners are. I'm tired of hearing me trash Marvel, and I'm sure our listeners are too. But it's the same way. It's the same way. It's the same way. Every Marvel movie of which Tom Holland is the rising star, or the new face of the franchise, I guess.
Yeah, pretty much.
Every Marvel movie, even in the most ostensibly the most serious sections, there has to be some quick throwaway joke. It always has to be some cheap line because Marvel movies are they're so poorly written, and it has to have all these like it just has to be. You can't take any moment serious, even if it's a superhero movie and it's crazy. They always have to have that kind of throwaway. It's very quippy.
Yeah, it's very quick,
quippy.
Very to the point.
Yeah,
it's
and
like, dude,
it's quippy and cheap, and it's thin. It doesn't have any depth to it. It's shallow.
I feel later
shallow.
At night you're a little bit more passionate about this shit, man. I'm not gonna lie. Or maybe you just really hate this film.
It's shallow, but the problem is that carries over into Uncharted too. He's the same kind of like shallow,
same character,
glib guy that he is in everything else I've seen. Yeah. And it's I want to say it's too bad, but I don't know if he can do anything else.
Yeah.
He can do backflips and stuff like that. I know he's like a dancer or whatever, but as far as just saying words into a camera, he's got that same attitude every single time.
Yeah,
and at
he's
some
the same
point,
character, man. Can't change it. And then like, I think there was that. Well, I don't even want to get into his filmography, I guess, but then like, dude, Mark Wahlberg and this was weird too. Everyone, it just felt like everyone was just being, like they were paid too much money to do this, and they were just like, we got it. Like, does that make sense? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they were
kind of
offered way too much, and like the visuals too. The visuals aren't there, man. Like, this is like looking at something from 2009 or something for me. I was like, this is like fucking Transformers. I was like, this is the way it felt, the animation, I guess CG.
Interesting. But, I didn't notice. I thought the visuals were fine. I didn't really notice anything. I will say, before we get into, because I do want to talk about Mark Wahlberg and his performance, and kind of compare and contrast him and Tom Holland as far as like how they are throughout their filmography. But let's slow ourselves down. I apologize, dear viewers. Slow ourselves down a little bit. Let's talk about what this movie is. Which once I again, I was brand new to it. I had no idea what to expect. Once I realized early on this is an adventure film, I was hopeful for a little bit. Because within the last 6 months, I rewatched The Mummy and The Mummy 2, starring Brendan Fraser.
Greatest films ever.
Well, calm down. They're not the greatest films ever, but they're good. They're fun.
Yeah.
They've got dynamite characters.
Yeah. Good storytelling.
Yeah, and and I remember thinking when I rewatched these 5 or 6 months ago, I was like, why don't they make adventure movies like this anymore?
Yeah, dude.
It's kind of a dead genre. I wish they would bring that back. And then I got to, I was like, I'm 5 minutes, 10 minutes into this film. I was like, oh, they did. Well, no, longer than that. It took even longer than that for me to realize this was an adventure film, because the beginning is weird. But once I did, I was like, okay, I see where they're going. They're chasing after gold. Yeah. That's the plot of the movie. Is Tom Holland is a thief who gets recruited by an even more older and successful thief, Mark Wahlberg, and they're trying to find Magellan's gold. And luckily I guess not luckily, the point is Mark Wahlberg is recruiting Tom Holland because Tom Holland is a Magellan's gold enthusiast.
Specifically.
Yeah, he knows all about it. Because him and his brother were both orphans who also both loved thieving and the idea of finding Magellan's gold. And they were separated at a very young age.
Yep, you're good. You got it.
A relatively young age.
Old enough to still.
We have a flash. There's a flashback at the very beginning of this movie that baffles me, but either way, I'll get to it. But anyway, so they are in pursuit of they're in pursuit of the tons of gold that Magellan's exploratory mission found, and then they hid. And then from there on, it's just looking for treasure maps, looking for keys, looking for clues.
Yep, there you go.
Looking for clues. And, and of course, fighting the bad guy, fighting a few bad guys on the way.
Also some,
there's some traitors and
double agents.
Yeah, that's. I mean, if we, we'll get into the bad guy eventually, but anyway, it starts off with a crazy action piece of Tom Holland and a bunch of like shipping containers or shipping pallets. They've fallen out of the back of a cargo plane in flight, and he has to casually run up and down these flying cargo boxes while fighting off bad guys and whatever. And eventually it falls, and then it cuts back to 15 years earlier. And then that's our flashback to his youth. And the kid that is supposedly 15 years younger than modern day Tom Holland looks 3 years younger than modern day Tom Holland. Like, it's wild that they thought present day Tom Holland looks 15 years older than a 14-year-old kid. He doesn't. Tom Holland looks like he's in high school, which is why he was very famously cast as a high schooler in a movie called Spider-Man, Avengers 3, like whatever the fuck. He plays a high schooler in his most famous roles because he looks 16. I don't know how old he really is, 25, 24.
Probably, I don't know.
Either way,
he looks like he's still a kid.
The kid that they have playing young Tom Holland could be it could have been it could be like yesterday Tom Holland. You know, I get you. Like they could have done that, literally a sit-up montage. The first kid, by the time he goes out of screen, he comes back up for the 5th sit-up and he's now Tom Holland. That's how the same age they are.
Yeah, that's true.
It's crazy that they tried to sell that to us as like, doesn't this normal kid look way younger than Tom Holland? No, he doesn't.
They look about the same age.
Yeah.
Oh man.
So anyway, they're separated at their orphanage, and
because of the crime though, the brother and him commit a crime.
Yeah, again, they're
trying to steal the map.
They're Magellan enthusiasts at a Boston Catholic orphanage. They don't talk like Boston trash. Mark Wahlberg does, like he does in every movie.
It's a generational thing.
But Mark Wahlberg, who is, you know, a millionaire thief, he talks like he's from Southie. And then these two white Catholic orphans, probably from South Boston, both talk like they're trying not to be British.
That's fair.
You know, Tom Holland is almost like, he sounds like Stewie. Like, he's just like, where the fuck did this New England kid get a British accent almost from? I don't know. They should just let him be British. This should have taken place in England.
Oh,
he should have been from England.
Okay, so we're going off the game though, man. We have to think back to that, because that's where
either way,
original
right.
story came from.
They're for some reason, as young children, they're obsessed with Magellan and finding the gold. These kids want gold badly,
Yes,
and so
they need it.
That's why they got separated. They got busted breaking into a museum. They took the older brother. They were going to take him away because he's old enough to go to prison, and then the younger brother has to stay in the orphanage. Tom Holland has to stay in the orphanage, but the older brother runs away, and then they just don't keep in touch with each other ever. Until Tom Holland's a bartender.
Yes, he is. Oh, he's grown up. He's aged. This is new Tom Holland.
Yeah, right now, adult Tom Holland, who does not look anything different from child Tom Holland, is an adult now. He's
working at a bar.
Yeah, he's not only working at a bar, he's bad at it. He shows up late. They gloss over that. He's Cocktail. He's Tom Cruise in Cocktail. He's like flipping shit around. Mm-hmm. He's telling the patrons history. And, you know, Tom Cruise was doing poetry.
No,
Tom Holland Cocktail he's still doing the bottle flips, but he's given historical facts.
Yeah.
To of course, you know, cute girl comes in right away, and he robs her. He's like trying to talk to her, and then he steals her jewelry.
Grabs a gun, puts the gun on her head, and robs her. Just
yeah, he pushes her into a dark alley. And that's why we're doing Let's Get Trashed After Dark.
After dark, because some shit we saw.
Because Tom Holland. No, he doesn't. They would never allow Tom Holland to play that kind of character.
Very true. That's 100%.
This kid doesn't have that option. He's gonna be a sarcastic, glib dork his entire career.
I think he's gonna age. I think they're just gonna keep him here long enough. He's gonna age to be something. Yeah,
he's not gonna be nothing. I mean, he's gonna be rich. He's gonna be this. He's just gonna keep being this.
Yeah.
I don't think he'll ever like branch out. But anyway,
no, it's gonna be like Matthew McConaughey. Watch.
He robs a girl. That's the thing is we've seen this kid we've had him on screen for 12 minutes, and he's a bad. I mean, I understand it's tough being an orphan, but he's a bad kid. He's a bad employee, and he steals from an innocent girl that's just at a bar by herself. She wasn't even with a group of people that was like, they didn't give this girl any
reason to be robbed.
Yeah, other than Tom Holland has the throwaway line of "That's your daddy's money, anyways." It's like, okay, dude, like you don't, there's nothing redeeming about him as a character on paper. If you look at this character of Uncharted, whatever his name was, which that's the thing, his names don't even matter anymore.
Nathan Drake.
Yeah, of course it was Nathan Drake. How could I forget?
Yeah, it's a pretty iconic name.
Yeah, of course. No, I'm the silly one for not even remembering anything about this character.
It's okay.
That I met an hour and a half ago.
This shouldn't change your life. This shouldn't change.
But it's on paper. There's nothing like redeeming about him, but because it's so light and campy, it's like he can do no wrong. He obviously is the good guy. Like, why is he, and of course it happens so many times. He's the naive one who keeps getting bamboozled by these more experienced thieves. But I don't know. Tom Holland's an orphan and where does he get off trusting people?
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. How do you feel about Mark Wahlberg though? He was really fun in this. He was a coach,
So here's
the advice.
Here's what's unfair, I think, because a big criticism that we have is that Tom Holland is the same in every movie. And I think it's unfair because Mark Wahlberg is also the same in every movie. But
have you seen Ted?
But it works. Yeah, he's the same guy in this movie that he was in Ted.
No, okay, that's accurate.
Yeah, he's some piece of shit, South Boston asshole. That's who he is in real life. Wahlberg is in that category of actors like Morgan Freeman. Just same guy in every movie.
Okay. I guess.
He doesn't change his mannerisms, doesn't do anything different. He's that in everything.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of guys like that. Nowadays, Pacino's like that. Pacino used to be one of the greatest actors ever, and then now he's just like he's the hoo-ah guy in every movie now. Just over the top shouting. Even in the Great Irishman, when he plays Jimmy Hoffa, he plays shouting hoo-ah Jimmy Hoffa. So I can't, it's crazy to say this because Pacino was our best actor for a long time, but now he's same dude in every movie. Like Morgan Freeman, Mark Wahlberg is the same dude in every movie.
What?
What's not fair is that it works better for Mark Wahlberg. Just like it works for Pacino and it works for
I think it's
Morgan Freeman.
Tom Holland's going to grow. Well, he's not American though, so I think that's our issue.
You can't be that. You can't. He doesn't. Tom Holland doesn't have enough personality to be the same in every movie.
Yeah, we'll get more of it, and we'll fall in love with it.
Mark Wahlberg has a very specific thing. Same thing. Morgan Freeman has his thing. The reason he gets to be the same in every movie and nobody complains about it, because he's great. He's great in everything, but he brings his thing to every movie. You know what I mean? It's like ketchup. it's always going to taste like ketchup. But
even when it's green.
Okay.
Shrek, green ketchup, just throwing it out there.
Ketchup's always going to taste like ketchup, and it's always going to like overpower everything else. But nobody's ever mad that ketchup's hanging around. It fits the meal. If ketchup's in the meal, it's because it fits. You know what I mean?
You're really hitting those hard because it fits.
That's Morgan Freeman. That's Mark Wahlberg. He's the same guy, but I don't know. South Boston shithead was a good character in this movie.
Yeah,
as far as he didn't make me feel like this is bad.
Well, how do you feel about Antonio Banderas? How do you feel about it? His role seemed like it was cut so quickly. I did not get enough of him. I enjoy his content. I honestly do, man. Like, I like seeing him on fucking in a movie and just to like be like, oh fuck yeah, because there's some passion to him, you know. And in this movie, there was none. It was just like, hey, he's the one we're gonna like, you know, just toss out. I'm disappointed in that.
I agree. He's set up early on to be the big bad guy.
The big one.
And I mean, so we're getting into spoilers now, folks. Maybe I will put up a spoilers.
Maybe, yeah.
I could put the word spoilers on screen. I could do more work to make this thing more YouTube-y.
Yeah.
But so getting into spoilers now. Antonio Banderas quickly goes from being the presumptive bad guy of the film to just out of the blue murdered. And just
no cause.
Yeah, almost no reason for it. I didn't expect it. I will appreciate it was the most violent part of the film.
Oh yeah, I guess it was.
His throat gets cut, and after he's lying on the floor, you see a tiny red line of Sony appropriate blood. Again, they're all trying to be fucking Disney, which I hate, and that's why there's no blood anywhere. But there's a little thin red line of blood.
Yeah.
It's like, okay.
Just to show that some damage was done.
Yeah, it's just like, I don't know why you wouldn't make it bloodier and just more obvious, but whatever.
Yeah.
That's just what makes movies good, and this, of course, wouldn't have that. But yeah, so he's killed, shockingly. I actually had to step out of the theater for a moment. I missed the scene where he kills his dad. Does Antonio Banderas kill his dad?
No. Wait.
The old man that was gonna.
Not his dad, his brother.
He kept calling him Padre.
Oh, what? No, I don't know then. I don't think he did.
The older man.
The older man.
That was gonna give away all the money.
Oh,
that's why. So that's Antonio Banderas's reason for wanting to find the gold. One, he's from he's from, you know, I don't remember what name they used in the movie, but it's based on the Medici family. You know, he's from that family line that sponsored Magellan's trip back in the 1600s.
And he wants his money.
Ancient, powerful family. The Medicis is the real life version. They were called the Moncados or something, Maldonados, whatever it was. Moncada.
Yeah.
They were, but anyway, I guess they've fallen on hard times comparatively, and now it's a really big thing. He's like, I got to find that gold that was stolen from us 500 years ago.
He also hires two hitmen or two traveler explorers looking for the gold to also help him find the gold. So they're not very good, like, at all. Like, why don't you just hire Mark Wahlberg's character, speed this up a bit? He already has half the information. I know there's a whole bunch of crosses involved, but
yeah,
I don't know, man. It was a lot of bullshit in a short amount of time. But I get it again because this is a video game movie. So these are what video games are now, man. They're just movies that Sony's going to be porting over. We're going to be getting this content pretty frequently. Can't wait. There's Tati Gabriel, which was the main villain.
She became the main villain. She's the one that kills her way into being the main bad guy. I thought she was okay in the movie. Her and the other woman in the movie,
Sophia Ali.
Sophia Ali. They were both. Neither one of them had much to work with. That's the thing, is there's no character development at all. The only character that has any sort of development at all is Mark Wahlberg. And it's the smallest, like, instead of letting Tom Holland, again, spoilers, instead of letting Tom Holland die, he throws his backpack of gold at the woman's face and saves Tom Holland's life and loses the backpack of gold. Yeah. That's supposedly his arc. Although, luckily, thank God that Tom Holland had some gold in his cargo shorts that he could reward, so the audience isn't left feeling bad for Mark Wahlberg having no gold and doing a good human deed. He still gets gold out of it, which isn't that great.
Yeah, for him especially, he needs it.
It's just so shallow and idiotic.
There's two more of these.
Again, there's no consequences to any of this stuff. It's crazy. It's crazy that they felt that they had to reward the character like that at the end.
Again, video game.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know if I want to blame it on video games, because I feel like this is the caliber of movie we get from so many places.
Yeah, it's a lot of mediocrity. Yeah. It's but so would you go watch this movie? Would you? When you said you were gonna go watch it, I was like, actually, watch the French Dispatch. You'll enjoy. I was about to say that, but it was already 2 hours late. I was like,
yeah,
for sure.
No, I was already there.
And I was like, I'm so sorry for you.
Well, and we'll do French Dispatch for when we record next week, because I do want to see, because I do like Wes Anderson. Yeah, that's, even though he's very stylistic, it is artful. So and I don't mind that he has as a director, Wes Anderson, he does the same kind of thing every time, right? He frames shots the same way he does, but he's
Mark Wahlberg in film.
Well, he's in that category. Wes Anderson's in that category of like Tarantino,
yeah,
who are again very stylistic. All their films are going to be similar. They're all, Tarantino's always going to have the pop culture references. Tarantino's always going to have like the blood and the gore. He's going to use music in a very specific way. Wes Anderson, he has his thing. He frames everything right in the middle. He uses music his kind of iconic way. They do the same thing over and over again, but you don't get tired of it, because that is just their stylistic thing. You go expecting that. And they don't make a ton of movies. They're not making a movie a year where it's like this is too much of the same thing. Tarantino's every 8 years we get to see like his new version of his thing, and it's always great. Same thing with Wes Anderson, I think. So it's okay to be stylistic and consistent. Morgan Freeman, case in point. Stylistic, the same but consistent. It's totally fine.
Would you watch this movie? Would you tell someone to watch this movie?
Would I recommend this movie? No.
Yeah, would you recommend it?
I would not recommend this movie to anybody. I just don't. It doesn't have any charm to it.
It doesn't.
Yeah, they try to make everybody so likable. They try to make their main characters so likable, but there's no depth. There's no growth. There's no connection. Again, every character feels so one-dimensional and fake.
It does, yeah. 100%.
And because of that, it's completely just charmless.
Yeah.
Kind
of crazy, yeah.
In contrast to The Mummy, was 1996. I'm gonna guess.
Oh, 98.
Okay, I was close.
I don't know. I'm not sure if I'm right, man.
Something like that. Either way, mid to late 90s, Brendan Fraser at the height of his sexiness and one of his best roles of his career.
99.
Okay. Tim, it's Arnold Vosloo is the
fact that you remember that name out of everyone else.
Oh crazy. Yeah. No, I like Arnold Vosloo. I brought him up in our Ghostbusters Afterlife review because I mentioned he dies the same way. He dies in the open hell pit, just like I don't know, just like Egon should have.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, Vosloo, and then Rachel Weisz, the wife.
John Hamm.
Yeah, but those movies, especially the first one, it has so much charm to it. You see the characters kind of grow together.
Because you see like him and his Lois, and then him slowly like Brendan Fraser become like guru, like he's fucking cool as shit, and everyone wants to be him. Like you get that, and
Brendan Fraser has the again, this is a very typical archetype, but he has like the Han Solo arc.
Yeah,
he starts off, he's the rogue, mercenary. I'm just here for the money. He ends up saving the woman, and she's like, "Why did you save me?" He's like, "Because if you die, I don't get the money." And that knocks her down a peg. They have that moment, and then they have this. I think he legitimately gives her his jacket at one point. Like that's how how cheesy in the Mummy. That's how cheesy and stereotypical all these moments are. But it doesn't matter if they're overplayed tropes, they might be called. You have to have those moments. I don't even mind if they're tropey moments. I just want them to be there so we can see these characters interact and
build that story a little bit more.
Yeah, exactly. Become more than what they are.
Dude, yeah. Who directed this? Steven Sommers. I'm sorry. Now we're just going into the Mummy.
No, look it up. I looked it up earlier.
Oh shit. Okay, Thomas. I like it. Thomas.
He's done
Rising, G.I. Joe. Still not fucked on the show. Actually.
No, wait. You're looking at something else.
Van Helsing.
He directed Zombieland.
Wait, what the fuck?
And Venom. Yeah, Ruben Fleischer is the director.
For the Mummy?
Oh, what? I thought you were talking about.
Oh, sorry.
Uncharted.
Did not look that up. I'll just go back.
Come back to the Mummy. We could do a old timey Mummy episode.
Do the Mummy episode. I think that'd be fucking fun because we covered everything just right now, but the funness of those movies, man, the happiness and the joy it brings me, I'm 100% sure it brings it to other people.
Well, it's just that those are, like I said, there's a humanity to them that I think is missing in a lot of these
movies now.
Current studio properties that are coming out. Again, the fact that I called it a property, the fact that you call it content, because that really is what it is. It's so hard to call any of this art because it makes no effort to
force feeding you.
Yeah, it makes no effort to connect on like a human level at all.
It doesn't, dude.
It's just
who's it for then, man? Who the fuck's watching this shit? Like, obviously we win, but
we're acclaimed, famous film review podcasters. Okay, we have to go. I have to go as part of my job. All right,
this is a tax deduction.
Yeah, I have a duty to my listeners to give them fair and precise accounting of whatever the fuck I'm trying to say.
I have a question. Do you know anyone that watched this movie like for fun?
No.
Like they knew. Okay.
You are the only person I knew that had watched this movie.
Yeah, I watched it because one of my friends was like, he really liked it. I was like, let's watch it. I was like, it was either between that or something else, and I was like, let's watch. Oh, actually, it was between The Godfather, the first one. I've never seen the movie. I need to. I know.
You gotta be fucking kidding me. why are we even doing this show? You have no credentials. I might mute your audio on every episode just because who even wants to hear what you have to say after that?
But hey, I'm being honest, man. I'm being honest to people that might be listening to us. I'm not gonna lie about something like that because then you're gonna reference something I have no idea what I'm talking about.
I don't want this to be like I don't want this to be a case. I don't want this to be true. But I feel like, and I'm a single gentleman living in Austin, Texas, and I go out on dates, and I feel like I have not met a woman in a long time that has seen The Godfather.
Have you tried dating anyone that wasn't in high school?
Dude, don't joke about that kind of stuff. Yes, obviously I'm dating women well into their 20s and even 30s, which is my age bracket. That's what I am. I'm well into my 20s and or 30s. Yeah, they're all completely age appropriate, but just like you, they've never watched The Godfather. It's crazy to me that you couldn't see that movie.
I've had time.
Haven't had time.
You're watching her twice.
You're gonna watch the Batman tomorrow for the second time.
Okay, so the first showing I went to, I was falling asleep. Not gonna lie.
Yeah. Well, we'll get to that. We'll get to that on our regular Wednesday recording.
Yeah, that's gonna be a fun one.
It's gonna be a fun one.
3 out of 10.
I might surprise you. I might surprise you with some hot takes on the Batman.
Oh, okay, that's cool. I'm excited to hear those. Let's see what that's about. Because I love DC.
It's funny. We spent this entire time like criticizing Tom Holland for being the same in every movie, but I'm the same in every podcast, which is just fuck Disney and I hate all these whatever. So you know what? I'm sorry, Tom.
Yeah,
I know it's hard to not do the exact same thing over and over and over again.
Dude, yeah, it kind of is. When it's easy,
Yeah, but that's what the people are here for. Is they want more hot take Tazo.
Hot take, yeah. Well, that's all you gotta say about this film.
Give it your rating. That's the thing. 3
out of 10. I said at the beginning of the fucking round. It wasn't going to go up anymore.
Put it in a thing. Let's put it in a section at the end, like we do.
Oh, so
have a little cohesion. All right, okay, we're broadcasters.
I was just being. Okay.
I do my rating, or I do my would I recommend it or not, and then you give it a number.
3 out of 10.
3 out of 10.
3 of them, because I gave it a higher rating when I first watched it, but now thinking it back, it was just. It was
what could have made it better for you?
Probably not Tom Holland, like someone else. Like not, but like what sucks, man, is like he is like the spitting. They got the casting for this. That motherfucker looks like the video game character. It's kind of crazy. Yeah, it looks pretty goddamn similar. And I was like, or it felt similar at least. I've never played one of these games, and yeah, that's my issue with it. So I don't know, 3 out of 10. It was just not where I wanted it to be.
You mentioned that you didn't like the CGI, or you didn't like the visuals.
Oh yeah, the visuals just were like not there for me either, man. Like something about like
how so? Because I didn't notice that at all.
Yeah, it was a couple moments. I think it was like when he enters the water, like there's this weird haze around it for a bit. It looks like it looks real shoddy. Like it just looks like it was done in 2012 or something, or 2011. Who knows? Yeah, 2001. No, 2011. Yeah. She just felt weird. And then like the pirate ship scene where he was falling at one point onto it, that looked really bad. Like they had the ragdoll effects were not where they needed to be, or maybe they're using the fucking video game visuals. I'm not too sure. Something wasn't there for me. I was always like, dude, that threw me out of it. I was like kind of saddened by that. But yeah, I think if it wasn't him, if they had found someone else, fuck anyone else, I think would have been fine. But just he's not good at this. Great in Spider-Man. Love him in Spider-Man.
He's not.
Don't like him in this.
Go back and rewatch Spider-Man. You'll realize
I watched him recently. All of them.
Yeah, I don't like. I was surprised. I was shocked at the end of the movie, or during the big fight scene at the end, he picks up a gun. I was like, they're letting this kid hold a gun. I was like, who made this decision? Yeah, how did this get through Tom Holland's fucking censors?
You know what? I wish there was more. I want to see him more with a gun.
Yeah, I wish he had fired a gun and it had actually hit somebody at some point, because he shot the gun a few times. Yeah, you're frozen.
Okay, sorry.
He shot the gun. Yeah, he shot the gun a few times to no avail. Like, he picks up this gun. He has the badass, like, he checks it for bullets, and then he does the chick thing on a handgun, and then he just misses everybody by 14 feet because, God forbid, we let this kid. His handlers, his PR team is on set like, I can't believe we're even letting him hold this motherfucking thing. There's no way he's gonna hit anybody with this. Tom Holland has to be, completely. He's got to be completely cherubic at all times.
Dude, I need to get a thesaurus for the words you're fucking using right now. Did you look these words up beforehand? What the fuck?
I have a vast vocabulary. That's what makes me such an excellent film podcaster.
The vocabulary, I wasn't aware. Oh shit.
Yeah, so that's bad. This is lame to complain about, but fuck it, we're here. These 500-year-old ships filled with gold haven't been found until Tom Holland finds them.
Yeah.
And then the bad guy, they're hidden behind in a secret cove.
Yep.
On a beautiful
island.
On a beautiful island that probably has lots of tourists. And the other thing is, once they find him, there's a giant hole. They're in a cave, but there's an enormous hole. Some would say a ship-sized hole right above them to the land that they helicopter. They put a rope under a helicopter and pick up a Spanish galleon from the 1500s.
Yeah. It's held together pretty well, obviously.
Yeah, first of all, the ship's in great shape until they destroy it in a needless
battle
action scene that's dumb. But the other thing is, like, I don't know. Are we supposed to believe that just nobody on this beautiful resort island ever like, hey, what's in that hole over there? Nobody looked around.
Apparently not, man. Oh, well, it was also so far. It didn't seem like it was that far in the jungle, but to some people, I guess they would think it's far in the jungle where you have to either fall and die or just not look down.
I guess. I mean, I think they did it for just convenient movie magic. For plot, I think it was plot convenience why we have but I mean, it's an enormous hole that they could just fly.
Google Maps could just walk right over.
Yeah, they flew both. Right. If I looked at that hole on Google Maps, I would see the ships through the hole. I'm surprised somebody playing GeoGuessr didn't fucking find that.
You know exactly where this was. Oh, off the coast of Jamaica? Yeah, of course, bro.
Yeah. There'd be a landmark on GeoGuessr. Like, here's that. Oh, I know exactly where it is. That's the hole with the two ships.
Was it Pokemon Go? You'd be like, oh, yeah, that's exactly where you go to.
Yes, exactly. That's what it should have been. Somebody Pokemon Go'd, chasing a Pikachu, and then they accidentally fell into a hole
gold.
And found that.
More believable.
Spanish gold.
I would have believed that way more than this shit. Gotta be honest.
Yeah. You know what else was really weird? And I now that we're talking more about this being a video game thing, I can only assume. So there's there's no side characters in this. There's 10 characters with speaking parts. It's the the four thieves.
You don't even name them all.
The four thieves. It's Antonio Banderas, and then there's like 5 henchmen. Yeah. Those are all the characters with speaking parts, except Tom Holland washes up on a beach with one of the girl thieves. They land on a beach, and as they're walking through the crowd of tourists, for some reason, they have a completely pointless conversation with one man sitting on a beach chair that the camera lingers on.
Yeah.
He has like a, good luck. Hope you have a great rest of your day. And then the main characters walk out of screen and the camera hangs on this fucking dude that we don't know who it is. Okay. I can only imagine is that the guy that owns PlayStation? Like, is he the head of the studio? Yeah. Is he the head of the studio, or is he the guy that does the voice in the video game?
Yeah.
I got it.
Yeah. That's what I've been told. I don't know if that's I could be wrong, but that's what I've been told.
No, I guessed it. That's how
good it was. So I remember that guy.
That's how obvious it was. I've never played this game, but I'm watching this going like, what is this scene? Why are they talking to this guy why is there a stranger wishing them good luck in the middle of nothing? Like, this can only be a callback to something
else. Yeah.
This is only for people who know this video game, which is like, okay, then why is this in the movie?
Yeah, I agree, 100%.
What's the artistic justification for having this scene?
To pay homage to that guy, is he voiced him for so long, and now he's finally.
I got an idea. Why don't you let this motherfucker be Mark Wahlberg?
Yeah. I mean,
let him be in the movie if it's that important.
Let's think about this. People would go to see this movie because of Mark Wahlberg being in it. If that guy was in it, no one would give a shit even less.
Yeah, exactly.
Tom Holland has had Robert Downey Jr., Benedict Cumberbatch, fucking one of the Skarsgård brothers in one of the other movies, and Mark Wahlberg all try limping him to the end of the finish line. And it is going horribly wrong each fucking time. And that's the truth, and you know it.
Yeah, I'm surprised you know it. You're the shithead who likes all these fucking movies. Since when did you know this? I must be rubbing off on you because you're finally starting to learn something about film after having worked with me on this project for so long.
It's been 5 episodes. Holy shit! No. This has just gotten to the point where I was like, wow, it's a lot. There's a lot going on, and not a lot going on with this kid, but a lot going on around him.
Yeah.
Same thing with the last Spider-Man. There's Tobey. Oh, sorry, spoilers. Never mind. I don't want to do that shit. Just continue on.
It's the #1 movie ever. So if you don't know, I mean, I haven't seen it, but if you don't know that, I know that Tobey Maguire is in Spider-Man.
Oh, it's a Tobey Maguire and the other fucking Andrew Garfield. They did a bit like watch that movie and you realize that they did it. They do. Tobey Maguire's a pretty good actor, but those other two killed it compared to Tom Holland's character. You're like, I actually can't believe it.
Yeah, he's just I don't know. He's like he's an empty vessel, and I don't think he's gonna be capable of any more depth than what he does.
Yeah.
He needs to challenge himself. I mean, again, as in you're an artist, I'm a musician. We're both artistically minded people, and I think as an artist, if this kid cares about art at all, which maybe he only cares about big ass checks and fucking other hot famous girls, that's totally, go for it, dude. But if this dude wants to be artistic at all, he needs to pick a role. He needs to do some shit that's like we're not expecting from him.
I wish he was in Texas Chainsaw Massacre. That's the role I want to see him in.
I don't know.
Like, if we lose him, like first character to die, I'm okay with it being him. Just to draw me in, just to sample what's up.
Even that's not even an artistic enough decision. You know what I mean? He needs to be in something. Yeah, I mean it's still a horror movie. He needs to be in like He used to be in a drama or something.
Well,
you know,
he has been.
I'll never watch it.
It's on Netflix. So it came on Netflix during pandemic. I forget what it was called.
What was it called?
Look it up.
What was it about?
It was about I think it was like smuggling alcohol across like borders and shit. But like back in the day. About really, I think it was murder. What the fuck is this called? The Devil All the Time. Yeah, I think it's The Devil All the Time.
Did you watch this movie or you just heard of it?
I did. No, I watched this one. It's been like 2 years since I watched it though, so but yeah,
maybe because he's again he's a likable kid and you guys want to root for him, but not that he's not doing well. He's got more money than I'll ever make.
Yeah, but he's in it, and so is Batman in this movie.
Robert Pattinson.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. But you know what? If that's the case, I might watch it.
Yeah, it's because
I mean we'll hear all my Robert Pattinson stuff when we record the Batman episode.
That's fine.
Because I've got a few things to say about Robert Pattinson, and we'll talk about that on the Batman for sure.
Oh, cool. We can do that.
Which we've both seen. Steve, you're going to watch that again tomorrow, so you'll be fresh for that. But cool. Well, anyway, yeah, I think we're out of ideas, folks. We could just be Googling fucking Tom Holland shit all night, trashing this. I want to call him this poor motherfucker, but again, he's not. I just trashing this dumb idiot. Actually, you know what? Actually, I will. I did see Gene Kelly famously said he does not want a movie ever to be made of his life. He doesn't want a biopic ever made. He said this decades ago before biopics were even a thing. But of course now they're talking about doing it, and they're talking about they want Tom Holland to be Gene Kelly. He can play Gene Kelly because he can dance. Tom Holland's a ballerina just like Gene Kelly was. And it's one of my favorite lines I saw. This film chick who's really smart on Twitter said, like, I don't know, Gene Kelly famously said he doesn't want a biopic made, and now they're just trying to get like some flavor of the week dickhead to play him.
Flavor of the week dickhead.
Flavor of the week dickhead made me laugh for a really long time when I read that. Shout out to not a Heather and Olivia. I can't remember her. I don't know her actual real name, but she's very funny. She's a really good if you're a film person on Twitter, she's a really good follow.
Oh, okay.
But anyway, all right, that's our Uncharted episode. I'm gonna say don't watch it. Steve's gonna give it a 3 out of 10, which means don't watch it.
Which means for sure get the fuck out of the theater.
I guess the only people that would really I don't know if people that enjoy these video games like this movie. I think they did. I think they do. You think they do? You think they like it?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's good. I'm glad they got something they liked out of it.
Exactly. So it's probably 8 out of 10 for them,
Okay. Well, it's hard. If you like a book or you like a video game series, it's hard to like the film or TV adaptation of it.
Yeah.
You're going to be hard pressed to find, like I'm a big fan of the Witcher books and video game, and I hate that TV show. It's terrible. The woman that writes that show might be the dumbest person on earth.
That's funny because I know everyone that I know that loves that game loves the show.
Really?
You're the only person I've ever met that has said
it's if you haven't read the books, it's maybe better. Maybe you can forgive it more if you just play the video games.
Okay, that might be it then.
But so maybe it's more forgivable. But if you love those novels like I do, then you should hate the TV show. But whatever. That'll be Let's Get Trashed and Watch TV. That'll be our separate TV series later on down the line. Once
goes well.
Once we get this empire rolling, yeah, because we've already got we've got Let's Get Trashed. We've got our trailers. We did one trailer episode. We got to do another one in a few weeks.
You want to knock it out right now?
You want to do it right now?
Because you've seen the trailers.
Yeah, I've got a couple more. We can do another one. Let's record another one right after this. All right, everybody. Thank you so much. This is Let's Get Trashed. I'm Nick. You can find me on Instagram at Nick Tazo Drums. Steve, you can find on Instagram
Step on Hen.
At Step on Hen. Follow our show Instagram at Let's Get Trashed Pod on Instagram. Follow us on Letterboxd, Let's Get Trashed, and then also, please like and subscribe, leave a comment. Go to our we're going to be putting this out on Apple Podcasts and maybe some other podcast things. I don't really understand how that works yet, but definitely Apple at some point. So go and like that podcast and give it a rating. I'm not even going to say don't give it a 5-star rating. Give it whatever rating you truly feel it deserves. That's because unlike Tom Holland, I have artistic integrity, and I'm I'm sorry. That feels mean. All right. Anyway, let's get trashed. Thanks everybody. We'll see you next time.